Hey guys, how are you? So I'm doing a little bit of late night botting. I thought you could join in. Keep me company. Actually, I won't be botting that late. But I'm working on putting a podcast, one of our clients' podcast, into their messenger. And I thought I would talk to you a little bit about why it's a great idea to put your podcast into your messenger. Now, do I mean you take your whole podcast and put it right in your messenger? No, but you link it. And what our client is doing is driving it just to his own web page. Like he's taking his podcast off all other sources and he's going to keep only on his web page, which we love that idea because he's driving his traffic, to the one location where he is. But you want your people to know that it's there, right? So, if they're not, no light. If they, I hate no light late at night. We don't want them to miss it, if it's only in one location. So, of course, you'll send out your email and you'll let them know that it's available. But, of course, we have our captured audience in the messenger chat. So we let them know, too, like, don't miss my new podcast. It's out. And what we really think is important, and it's really in Facebook's rule, though, is we don't send it to people who don't want it. So how do we do that? Well, we send out, first of all, anytime somebody comes into his messenger chat, we kind of ask them what information they want to get. Do they want to find out about podcasts? Do they want to get tips about real estate? Like, what do they want to get? He has a great resource library we're building out for him. Do they want to get that? And each time we send out a podcast message, like, here's a new podcast for this week, we also always tell them, like, do you want to keep getting podcast notifications? Like, it's really important when you're sending content out to people that you're just not flooding their messenger with information that they don't want. So it's really important that we ask them each time. Like every time it goes out, we say, how do we put it? If you don't want to know when a new podcast is available, click no podcast info. Now there's a really important reason that we say click no podcast info, because maybe they don't want to unsubscribe for the whole bot, right? Because he might give other information that they really want. So we kind of ask them as we're going along. So when we're giving out the podcast information, we might ask them, like, do you not want this information? And then what happens is we tag them. Like we've talked about before, like the segmenting in Messenger is amazing. And so we tag them as not wanting podcast. And then when we send the podcast message out, we only send it to people who want to get it. The really great thing about Messenger is you're really sensitive to your audience. And Facebook really demands it. And they're going to start cracking down on people who don't, because they don't want it to become like your email where you just kind of like slide through, or you let it go to, your promotional stuff and you never look at it. And of course, when we're putting out information for our clients to their audience, we only want to give it to the people who want it, right? We don't want to give it to people who don't want it. So that's really important. Again, so like, why are we putting his messenger, or why are we putting his podcast in Messenger? Because we're getting this really captured audience of people that really like his content. And we want to let him know when he has something that's really new and valuable to them. We don't have to go look to they have to go look to his Facebook or his Instagram or his YouTube. Like, this stuff is, like all of us, we're putting our content in like all different places. But we want to have the one place in Messenger. Like, if they're not sure where they can get everything, they can get his, his weekly tips, and they can get his podcast, or they can get his information on new courses that are coming or new houses that are coming. It's all right here in one spot. That's really the beautiful thing. One of the beautiful things. There's so many about Messenger, but really one of the great things is that it's like your one source. If they're trying to look for information on you, they can just go to your Messenger. And the reason that's better than a website is a website is really clunky, right? To like update things on your website, it just really takes a lot more time. In Messenger, we can send out a new message. We create a new Canva picture for each week, so that takes a little time. But then we just send it out, so it doesn't take that long. It's not like you have to go into your website and go to the right page and do all these things. It's so easy on Messenger. Anyways, it's just a botting late at night. I thought you might want to join me for a minute, talking about getting your podcast notifications in your Messenger. Have a great night. Bye.